All right, shalom, shalom. With the real Hebrew Israelites coming day in and day out. Prophesy downfall of Babylon the Great, which is America. First off and foremost, say all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Karkadash. Double honors to the other apostles of great millstone, salutations to the elect, wherever you may be. And hop straight into this. It's Amos, the 9th chapter. Sorry, Amos, I can wait a second. This is Amos 9 and 11. In that day will I raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. And I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as the days of old. All right. And what does that really go into? The house of David is the elect. All right. Starting with the elect men. All right. And Yahweh Bashem Shai is rebuilding that tabernacle. And it starts with what? The foundation of the elders. Okay. Matter of fact, let's go to Revelation. Galatians 2 and 9. And when James, Cephas, and John, who seemed to be pillars, all right? Now, like I said, let's go into this word pillars, right? This is Galatians 2 and 9. Let's get the blue letter. Galatians 2 and 9. Stylos, right? Pillar, column, right? Prop or support, all right? And that's exactly what a foundation is. It's a support system, all right? And you build thereupon. Okay. Now, what else did Yahweh Bashem Shai call us, right? This is 1 Peter 2 and 5. Ye also, matter of fact, 2 Peter 2 and 4. To whom coming as unto a living stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of Yahweh, which is talking about Yahweh Shai being that chief cornerstone, right? All right, which is that foundation. And precious, ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house. Now, who is that spiritual house? House of David, a house of Isaac, if you will. All right, because Yahweh Shai and the co-heirs. All right, and that includes all the elect, starting with the elect men. All right, it says a holy priesthood. All right, so the elect is separate than the rest of Israel. All right, known as the Israel of Yahweh. Okay. Shalom, Akim. Yeah, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Kadash, Barakathum. All right, it says a priesthood. All right, because Levi is joined unto me, right? The elect is joined into Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Matter of fact, Yahweh Shai is what? The mediator. Okay, bringing us back one with Yahweh. Okay, it says a holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Yahweh by Yahweh Shai Mashiach. Okay. Wherefore, also it is contained in the scriptures, behold, I lay in Zion a chief cornerstone, elect precious. All right. So that first elect is Yahweh. Yahweh Shai. All right. First chosen. And the only begotten to do what? Do exactly what he did for the elect co-heirs. All right. predestinated, if you will. All right. So that when you go to Revelation, 12,000 from each tribe, and then that the mixed multitude, all right, that's the elect. All right. Okay. Hold on, let me go back to this. Precious, which he that believeth on him shall not be confounded. And that's the whole point. Belief, believing, having faith. All right. Matter of fact, I'm gonna keep on going. Unto you, therefore, which believe he is precious, but unto them which be disobedient, the stone which the builders disallowed, the same is made the head of the corner, and a stone of stumbling. All right, because a lot of you guys stumble at Yahweh Shem Shai. Yahweh Shai is the stumbling block for you. All right, whether it be the doctrine that you don't understand, because what it says, they're preaching to you another Yahweh Shai. Right? We got the same scriptures, but the doctrine you guys are spewing out is incorrect. Okay. Even to them which stumble at the word, being disobedient, whereon they were appointed. So you have people in this thing that's appointed to be disobedient. You have people in this thing that's appointed to be righteous, that's appointed to be of the house of David, that's appointed to be of the elect, that's appointed to be a co-heir, because honestly, they were predestinated. So like I said, that this thing is based upon faith, but them of the house of David is going to have that faith. All right. Hold on, let me see. Let me get this Corinthians. I'll read that for you. The Hebrews 4:12, since you posted it. It's Hebrews 4:12. For the word of Yahweh is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, even piercing and dividing asunder to the soul and spirit, and to the joints and to the marrow, and is a discerner of the thoughts and the intents of the heart. All right, because hey, like we always say, this truth is a double-edged sword. All right, especially to them that can't handle it. Okay. So now we went from there. Let me get this real quick. Fitly joint. Where's it at? Now, since we was talking about building stones and the elect being together, Yahweh Shem Shai, raising up the tabernacles. As a matter of fact, when you go to the valley of dry bones, the flesh got put back on, all that. It was clothed. But the most important thing was getting that breath back. Everybody didn't get that breath back. Everybody don't have that breath. Everybody does not have the Holy Spirit. They don't have the understanding of the scriptures. All right. So, hey, that's a matter of fact. Let me get that. Let me get that. All right, this is Ezekiel 37:1. The hand of Yahweh was upon me and carried me out in the spirit of Yahweh and set me down in the midst of the valley that was full of bones. All right, which basically when you get to it is Babylon the Great, and caused me to pass round about them. And behold, they were many in the open valley, and lo, it was very dry. He said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord, my power, thou knowest. Again, he said unto me, prophesy unto these bones and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of Yahweh. Thus saith Yahweh thy power, unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye should live, and ye should know that I am Yahweh. And I prophesied as I was commanded. And as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh, all right, which the sinews is like the joints, and the flesh came together, and the skin covered them above, but there were no breath in them. All right, so you have some people walking around like that today. They don't have the breath in them, right? These other Israelite camps. I mean, you got guys that really said, well, maybe it'd be 1,000 years, or guys that don't believe in the MOTB, or Esau, the white man ain't eating them. You know, no, these crazy fucking things. Okay. It says, then he said unto me, prophesy unto the wind. Prophesy, son of man, and say unto the wind, thus saith Yahweh, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon the slain that they may live. So I prophesy as he commanded me, and the breath came in them, and they lived and stood up upon their feet, an exceedingly great army, which goes into what? The Wisdom of Solomon 5. All right. Then them that stood, then it says further, them that stood so stiffly for the name. All right. Matter of fact, let's hold that. Ezekiel 37, we'll come back to that, Wisdom of Solomon, 5th chapter. Because it said that exceedingly great army. All right. Wisdom of Solomon 5:1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as afflicted him, which is Edom. We do know who the enemy is. All right. When they see it, they should be troubled with terrible fear, and they should be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, as far beyond all that they look for. All right. But once again, hey, that's perfect. Perfect. Because I was going to get to that revelation. All right. Because even these bones being in the dry in a dry valley, right? Nobody told us we was Israelites. These other nations didn't tell us shit. They didn't cover our bodies. All right. But the prophets did that. All right. The prophets are spiritually Tobit, if you will. All right. Told us who we were, gave us a covering again. All right. Made us alive again. All right. Through what? The scriptures. Okay. I'm going to read that scripture. Revelation 11:11. Actually, let me just get it. And after 3.5 days, roughly 350 years, the spirit of life, all right, and that's going back to Abba Bivens and commandment keeping, you know, you go into all that history. I know you brothers know. Yahweh entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them, which saw them. All right, perfect precept, brother. All right, let's go back to Ezekiel 37. Verse 11, he said unto me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say our bones are dried, and our hope is lost. We are cut off from our parts. Therefore prophesy and say unto them, thus saith Yahweh, my power, behold, O my people, I will open your graves and cause you to come out of your graves and bring you into the land of Israel. All right? Because matter of fact, in Revelation, it talks about Yahweh Shai being crucified over her. But how was he crucified over her? They blotted out his name and his image. All right? The same thing they did to the children of Israel. Psalms 83rd chapter says what? That the name of Israel won't be remembered no longer. Honestly, we're not known as Yashara Allah. And I'm saying that how it's supposed to be pronounced, Yashara Allah. That name is not known to the world like that. All right? Verse 13, and you should know that I am Yahweh, and I have opened your graves, O my people. I have brought you up out of your graves. Hey, because it says what? You ain't got this truth. You basically amongst the congregation of the dead. Okay? Hey, Lazarus. All right? And shall put my spirit in you, and you shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. Then shall ye know that I am Yahweh, have spoken it and performed it, saith Yahweh. All right. So this is going to happen. Yahweh Bashim Shai, all right, ultimately is going to bring all of Israel to that land. But you have certain people that have to go through that second death. The elect is the only people that's going to make it out. Right now, eventually all Israel will be saved. All right. But that salvation primarily goes to the elect. Right. And right after and this is spirit, right after the verse 14, it goes right into the two sticks, which brings us to what? Babylon the Great, the place where the northern kingdom and southern kingdom both were oppressed, right? So that great salvation is coming from Babylon the Great, America. Okay. Now, we know all this is going on. We see all the prophecies popping off. What should we be living by, right? Faith. All right. Simply put, because I bring this up to say this, to have that mindset, well, Yahweh Shah may not come for another 1,000 years. No, that's off. All right, the scriptures say hasten in the day. And not only that, if you know the prophecies, if you go into the beast, you go into the 7 heads, 10 horns, you go into the feet, you go into all that. You go to if you go into Daniel's, when it talks about the 4 kingdoms, when you read Second Esdras, when it talks about the 12 feathers and talks about the hierarchy of Rome, what you will start to see is history play itself out. We know this is the last kingdom, granted, given everything that's going on. So that will make, matter of fact, let me get this. 6 troubles. Job 5:19. He should deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in the 7th there shall no evil touch thee. We're in the 7th. All right, we're in the 7th. Ain't no another fucking 1,000 years. And I speak as a man, because I don't believe that to be true. But if you believe that, man, then no wonder you was doing the shit you was doing. I got another 1,000 years to get right. Everything right now is happening in the now. Habakkuk 2 is actually happening right now. It's not another fucking 1,000 years, bro. You fucking twacking over there. Okay? And that's what I mean. You have to live by faith. All right? Now, let's say Yahushua wasn't coming for the next 1,000 years. Your ass was clearly going down the wrong path to begin with. All right? From whatever. I don't even give a fuck no more. Let me get to Hebrews, the 4th chapter. The 11th chapter. All right? Which when you read this whole chapter, it goes into faith and how they had faith all the way up to the end. Some had faith, they came, lived, and they died. And it said they died still having the hope of what? Seeing the promised land. So that's the state of mind we have. That's the state of mind a member of the house of David is going to have. Striving to the truth and to death, but also enduring to the end. Okay? Hebrews chapter 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and evidence of things not seen. By it, the elders obtain a good report. Now, we done seen the history of our elders, from the 9/11 situation to the 2000 prophecy to the House of David splitting or One West being broken up. Their faith carried them through all that, man. All right. It wasn't shaken. It wasn't broken. All right. Even from getting kicked out for the Cornelius thing, which proved to be true, they still had the faith. All right. Even after the year 2000 thing, right? They still kicked the truth. All right. They still was pushing the word. All right. Just because you niggas didn't believe, hey, Romans 3:3. All right. That's why you guys are going to die for your incredulity. Tongue twister. Incredulities. All right. This is verse 3. Through faith, we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of Yahweh, so that the things which are seen, which were made of things which do appear. By faith, Abel offered unto Yahweh a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous. All right. Now, the law has always been around. That's why Abel did what he did. All right. And that proves it right there. But that proves the spirit of a righteous man, the spirit of a member of the house of David versus somebody who doesn't have faith or just simply doesn't give a fuck or don't have the fear of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, because that's where wisdom start. And that's where the love start, because the love is what? The keeping of the commandments. All right. It says, God testifying to his gift, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, God testifying of his gift, and by it being dead yet speaketh. By faith, Enoch was translated that he should not see death and was not found. Now hold on, because we're going to the house of David. We're going to the prophecies and things of that nature, right? What did Enoch prophesy about? You go read that in Jude. Go read Jude to see how Enoch was prophesying about the end of days, as far as the chariots cracking the cloud, and Yahushua coming back to render judgment upon this planet Earth, man. All right, with all the angels. All right, it's written in Jude. But by faith, he was preaching that. Guess what? Enoch was preaching about Yahushua cracking the clouds thousands and thousands and thousands of years before it happened. So for a guy to say, well, we may have to wait another 1,000 years. Nah, we at the end of this thing, brother. All right. This says, where we at now? For before him, his translation, he had this testimony that he pleased Yahweh. But without faith is it impossible to please him. For he that cometh to Yahweh must believe that he is. So you have to believe these scriptures. You have to believe these things. Hey, thank you for posting it, brother. All right. Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied of these, saying, behold, Yahweh cometh with 10,000s of his saints. All right. When you go into it, when you read the Psalms, when you read New Jerusalem coming down from the heavens, when you read the Micah 4 or the Micah 5, Yahushua, the elect, those angels are going to wreak havoc on planet Earth. That's what Enoch was going into, man. All right. Now, to this day, do we have the book of Enoch to go? No, but we could go off that scripture. I'll read the book of Enoch. Well, we'll have the book of Enoch downloaded to us when we get our new bodies. We're going to know everything. All right. But that Jude is all I need to know. All right. To know what type of mindset Enoch was in. And if you think Enoch is not a part of the house of David, you're out your mind. All right. When you read the scriptures, it's evident who the elect is throughout Genesis all the way to Revelation. It's a certain character, it's a certain spirit, it's a certain mindset that they have, which is the mindset of Hebrews, the 11th chapter. And that he is the rewarder of them that diligently seek him. All right. This is the earnest expectation of the down payment, if you will. The Lord said, do this. We're expecting to get these things. Okay. By faith, Noah, being warned of Yahweh of things not yet seen, going back to verse 1, moved with fear, going to exactly what I just went into, the fear of the Lord. All right. Is the beginning of wisdom, right? Prepared an ark. Matter of fact, this proves that Noah is a prophet as well. of his house, by which he condemned the world and became heirs of the righteousness, which is the faith. That's about to happen to us. All right? Our house is going to be like, all right? The spiritual, Lord, the spiritual are false leading. The angels actually come. The rest of the world is gone. All right? So for 100 some odd years, pretty much, the rain was coming to us. So these people probably was crazy. For years, we've been preaching the fire is going to rain down from heaven via ICBM. That the chariots are going to crack the clouds and shoot this place with lasers. Go read 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. Go read Isaiah, the 63rd chapter. Who is this to come from Basra? Okay. We've prophesied these things into you, yet you people still don't believe. You think you think it's a joke. You think it's crazy. All right. But Noah did all this by what? Faith. Verse 8, by faith, Abraham, when he also called to go out into a place where he should receive an inheritance, obeyed. He went out not knowing whether he went. So imagine that. Hearing a voice telling you to go this way, leave your parents, leave your family. I got a place prepared for you. Just think about that, right? Let alone when he had to kill his son because the angel told him to. All right. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. All right. For he looked for a city which had foundations, whose builder and maker is Yahweh. Now, going back, that's spiritual, going back to the house of David, going back to the tabernacles being rebuilt, going back to us being lively stones. Look at what it just said. He looked for a city which had foundation, whose builder and maker is Yahweh. All right. Because the chief cornerstone that was laid was who? Yahweh Shai. All right. And the rest of the stones is the elect men that make up that government body of Israel. All right. 2nd Ezra, the 2nd chapter, starting around the 42nd verse. All right. Through faith, also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed and was delivered of a child when she was past her age. All right. Because she was judged him faithful who had promised. Right. That was a miracle because she was past the flower of her age, pretty much. Therefore sprang there even of one, and him good as dead. Right. It's still talking about Abraham and her womb. I mean, Abraham is Sarah's womb. And many as the stars of the sky, and the multitude as the sands which is by the shore sea, innumerable. And eventually that's what happened. From Abraham and that seed, all right, Israel was what? Numbered like the stars of heaven. They're innumerable. You can't count. All right. Therefore, all died in faith, not having received the promises, but seeing them afar off. Therefore, that makes seeing the promises afar off. We see the vision, right? We're persuaded of them. Now, does it not say let every man be persuaded in his own mind? All right. Persuaded of them and embraced them and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims upon the earth. And that for they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful of the country from which they came out, they might have the opportunity to have returned. But now they desire a better country, that is in heavenly. Therefore, Yahweh is not ashamed to be called their power, for he hath prepared them a city, which is going to be down here on the earth. Now, first of all, the first part of that city is us being built. Then physically, Yahweh Hashem HaShai is going to what? Bring us back into that promised land. All right. Now, you guys can read the rest of this chapter because it goes into the faith of Moses, the faith of other Israelite leaders, the faith of Abraham, like we just read. But it says, I'm just jump to the end. Matter of fact, just goes to Gideon, Oh, I'm starting 32, and I'll run it down from 32. But you guys can read the rest. Um, Shalom to you, Akim. All right. Um, and what shall I more say? For the time shall fail me to tell of Gideon and of Barak and of Samson and of Jephthah, of David also, and Samuel, and of the prophets who through faith subdued kingdoms. How is this kingdom going to be translated again? All right. Wrought righteousness, obtained promises, stopped the mouths of lions. Hey, go to the generations of old. See whoever trusted in Yahweh Shem Shah was confounded. So the same mindset we must have. Okay. It says, quench the violence of fires, escape the edge of the sword, out of weakness were made strong, wax valiant in fight, turn to flight the armies of the aliens. Uh, Women received their dead raised to life again, and others were tortured, not accepting deliverance that they might obtain a better resurrection. Others and others also the trial of cruel mockings and scourges, yea, moreover, of bonds and imprisonments. They were stoned, they were sawed asunder, cut in. Hey, go read about the seven sons. They were tempted, they were slain with the sword. They were wandered about in sheepskins and goatskins, being destitute, afflicted, and tormented. Because, hey, you got your demons too. Hey, we're gonna go through a lot of shit in this truth, man. Of whom the world was not worthy. Now look at that. The world is not worthy of the elect. That's heavy. Yahweh Bashim al-Shai is saying this about us, right? They wandered in deserts and mountains and dens and caves of the earth. And all these, having obtained a good report through faith, received not the promise. Right? So all this shit happened. They didn't get the kingdom yet, right? Going through all this shit, right? Having Yahweh having provided some better thing for us that they without us should not be made perfect. Wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with such a great cloud of witness, let us lay aside every weight and the sin to do so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. So it's a race of faith. Yahweh Bashim al-Shai, Yahweh Ratazah gave us the faith that's built upon stone and not sand. All right. So, yep, like his brother put, Psalms 116 and 15, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. All right. We got slaughtered all the day long, man. And guess what? We ain't in the kingdom yet. But guess what? We see it afar off. We see all the prophecies happening. If the men of old went through this and they seen miracles and they still had the vision, the same thing goes for us now. It has nothing changed. Only thing that changed is the Lord is speeding this up and the prophecies are popping off. Habakkuk 2 is actually happening now. All right. The essence of Habakkuk 2 is literally happening now. And Habakkuk was written thousands of years ago. And now we really getting in tune with it. Hey, but with that, it's about to be 10:44. I'm gonna say all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Karkadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, a great millstone. Salutations to the elect, wherever you may be. Bob Babal, Kwam Nasharala, Kwam Bakari.